Larsson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly, how about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!
Hello and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. My name is Ryan Clifford and joining me tonight, or this evening, or this afternoon, is Daniel. Well, Daniel, how are you, mate? Hope you're well. Obviously, this is the aftermath of the game against Livingston, 4-2 victory in the Tony Mack, which is called now the Arena Stadium. It's loads of different names. But overall, in terms of the victory, Daniel, 3 points, and we move on to the next game against Motherwell. But we'll obviously dissect this game, Daniel, and go through the defensive frailties, the decent attacking intent going forward. But hope you're well, Daniel, and what was your thoughts, obviously, initially after the game, mate, and how you feeling after it?
Afternoon, everybody. Hope you all had a good Christmas. Been a while since I've been on, but yesterday was kind of just a 3 points in up the road, I felt. Because we showed good attacking intent at times, and it's always good to score 4 goals. But defensively, it was just really, really alarming at times. Like any time the ball came into the Celtic half, you were kind of wondering what's going to happen here. Obviously, we start the game off going 1-0 down within the first kind of 5 minutes, and then we managed to get the goal back, and then we go 2-1 down straight away, which was obviously very frustrating. But their manager comes out after the game and tells us that they knew that Celtic were lopsided in defence, and that's why they went for it. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen a Livingston team come out and try and attack like that early on. But listen, man, 3 points and it's a win. It's always good to win at the Spaghetti Hut because we don't really do well there. But no, 3 points and up the road, and we go into the next one. But defensively, it's really starting to get worrying. So I think that needs to be kind of quite close to the top of the list for January and getting boys in the door.
Obviously, a lot of the fans I've spoken to anyway, Daniel, and what I've seen on social media, they're kind of happy with the attacking intent in terms of possibly a top striker and maybe another winger, but maybe add to that. But maybe a top striker, you're probably scoring 5 or 6 yesterday. But at the back, for me, again, people might think I've been negative, or the fan base have been negative, yourself are maybe negative, I don't know. But for me, the defensive side is very, very alarming and concerning because you can't concede 2 and 3 goals a game. And I know we spoke before we came on, like Ange was talking about outscoring the opponent. Of course, you need to do that to win the game, but under Ange, it's not like we were conceding 2 goals a game, 3 goals a game. We weren't getting behind all the time to then chase. We'll just start away, mate, with the first goal. Obviously, Kieran Tierney makes a mistake. Ultimately, I don't think his mistake caused the goal. I know it prompted the attack for Livingston, but Yang and Ralston are still there. Yang is cut out of position, in my opinion, because of the way we're playing. He's away forward. Ralston's tucked inside. He's then having to boot back and chase. Ralston's in no man's land. Body language again all over the place, and then Livi go 1-up, mate. And for me, ultimately, for Tierney to Yang to Ralston, it was just a really poor goal to lose, mate. And a goal at this level, we shouldn't be losing, mate.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of it was a chain of events for that Tierney mistake, and we'll touch on Anthony Ralston there. It's another game where he's just kind of looks like he knows what to do in that position. Obviously, we know he is naturally a fullback, but you'd think that kind of in this time, obviously he's been in the squad for a while now, he should be kind of coming coming to terms with it. Obviously, he's got a good group of boys running about him in that defence that can help him out. But yeah, to concede a goal like that was very, very poor, especially so early in the game. But I think the second goal for me was the biggest one, and that again, Ralston's just absolutely nowhere to be seen, and it's just a simple pass across the penalty box. Well, across, and the boy catches it absolutely superbly and leaves the goalie no chance. But as a for a defender's point of view, you can't be like in that position of just absolutely nowhere to be seen. So it was a very frustrating start to the game, but I thought we showed great character and clawing ourselves back into it twice, I'd say quite quickly after conceding. But no, like you says, mate, this back three, there needs to be some sort of harmony, whether that's rotation or strengthening in January, because if we're going to continue this system, the back three needs to be on point all the time. We can't be affording to lose these 2 and 3 goals. I mean, Livingston have only scored, before playing Celtic, they scored 18 and 18. So that's an average about 1 goal a game. And they scored 2 against us in 10 minutes. Like I says, Martindale said that he knew the defence was lopsided and they came out wanting to start on the front foot and they managed to do it. That's bottom of the league and you're conceding 2. I said to you guys last night as well, any decent team, that's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And we've seen it this season that any half-decent team can beat us and can beat us quite comfortably. So it's worrying. It's really worrying, especially the defence. But listen, attacking wise, thought the boys done well. They showed that kind of a fighting character. But like you says, mate, we managed to get 4. But with a half decent striker in the door, you're looking at about 6 or 7 there. With the chances that we had in the game.
Again, I understand, Daniel, going away to Livingston scoring 4 goals, any game scoring 4 goals is good. But conceding 2 goals to a Livi team and then having to get yourself back into the game, listen, it can happen, but it shouldn't be happening. We should be taking the bull by the horns right away, going after them right away, and they done that to us, like you say. Martindale knew. Every team in Scotland, I know, in my opinion, doesn't fear Celtic. Even last year, when we weren't really playing too well near the end of the season, teams still feared Celtic under Rodgers, under Ange as well. Maybe no this season under Rodgers, but there was still a wee bit of a fear factor there. For me, I don't think anybody fears Celtic anymore as it stands at the moment. I do agree with Chris Boyd and what he was saying in terms of going forward. The numbers are really good. The chances are there. So if you do score goals, in terms of if you get a striker in who's going to score goals, listen, teams will start feeling you again. But if you continue with the 3 at the back, with Tony Ralston at the back, it's not just him, but for me, I just don't see the back 3 working with these players, Daniel. And it might work when he gets the 3 players that he wants to put in that system, be that if it's Thursday, Tierney and Vickers, or we buy somebody in January and then AJ goes to the fullback, whatever he's got today, that's up to him who he decides to buy and who he decides to put in the positions. But for me, that back 3 to the end of the season is going to leak goals, because potentially you've no got Vickers to the end of the season. AJ, don't know when he's going to be back. You've got Stephen Welsh on loan, who's probably one of Motherwell's best players this year. You've got an option Largy Belkin no here, so you didn't need to buy in the January window. If they've not got somebody coming in for the 3rd at least of that week, then what are they actually doing? Because for me, it's blatantly obvious. There's 3 positions that need it right now: right wing, top striker, and your top centre back to go with the 2 of them. But for me, Daniel, it's very concerning the way we're defending, because if you go away to Bologna, again, people might come back to me. We might go and beat Bologna and I could have egg in my face, but realistic before that game right now, we're probably going to go to Bologna and get hammered with that team. You've hit the point goals against us. Rangers will concede. So it's the fact that you're probably going to concede. You haven't then scored 2 and 3 goals a game to win. Obviously, listen, that's you've got to score a lot of goals sometimes to win games of football, but you can win 1-0 here and there and you still keep it tight at the back. for me, Daniel, there's no balance. There's no balance. We're good going forward to a degree, but we're horrendous at the back. So there's got to be a balance. If you're going to go gung-ho attack, you need to make sure your defence is solid. If you're going to just try and get a goal here and there, if it's European football, you then need to make sure you're defensively, you're sticking to the shape and you're absolutely solid. I don't think we're that, Daniel. I think we're totally, it's a pure kamikaze football formation, mate, in the way we're playing.
Yeah, definitely. It is exactly that, mate. It is kamikaze football, and although we did get the victory, and it's always good to win away to Livingston, no matter what way you cut it, you can't be conceding that early in the game. 1 goal, never mind 2. So, like you say, Bologna is going to be a very tough game in my opinion. And heading into January, we need another centre half there, because the commenter's spot on. It's mental that Trustees went for nowhere to be seen to being the only actual natural centre back in the Celtic squad right now. So it's mental for me. You can't keep playing 2 fullbacks in that position. Of course, we know Tierney can do it because he's done it for the likes of Real Sociedad, Arsenal at times, and also Scotland. But Anthony Ralston is like Bambi on ice. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He's looking confused at times. He's passing balls at the park. He's trying to make runs when the run just isn't on. He's leaving us exposed on the counter. It's bad. It's really, really bad. Because, like you say, mate, teams don't fear us right now. You seen the interviews after the cup final. The boy that plays with St Mirren said he had absolutely no doubt in his mind that they would win this game. That shouldn't be happening with us. So January is going to be so vital, because we need somebody at the top of the park to put them in the back of the net, but we also need somebody, at least 2, I'd say, in the defence that's going to stop them getting in the net. And for Simpson Puzzi to just be absolutely nowhere to be seen again, his alarm bells ringing. What was the point? I think he's played 2 games and one of them was a sub. He can't be that bad. Do you know what I mean? He can't be that bad that he doesn't even get subbed on if a game's not gone very well. So sometimes he's not even making the bench as well. So that's another thing that's just testament to this season and how it's went, that we've got guys who are playing out of position and struggling, and guys that actually play that position naturally, only seeing any sort of appearances on the park, because it's whether the manager might not like them or they're just simply not good enough. So something needs to change in January, and it needs to get done quickly, because, like you say, mate, if this is the way to the end of the season, we're going to leak goals and we're going to struggle at times to actually go and get results. So those big moves need to be made very quickly in January, especially before we play Rangers.
No, I agree with Daniel. There's obviously John says about Livingston had 29 touches in our box. Is it acceptable? Probably no, John. I know teams are going to attack us and teams are going to try and obviously go for the gauntlet against us. But for me now, the way we are playing, we're probably having to accept it, John. And I don't like the standards dropping, but I'm maybe need to come to maybe a solution in myself, Daniel, that I maybe need to accept it. I shouldn't be accepting it, because maybe I've got too high standards, mate. I don't know. But I just think that we're going to certain players. But Yang did do all right yesterday. He did. But we're saying guys like Yang, Kenny, Ralston, etc. are doing all right because the standards of this season's not been great. And then when they play well, it's, brilliant, that guy's actually no bad here, that guy's all right. When realistically, they're squad players. And they're only playing the now because of where we are. Don't get me wrong, Yang is doing better because he is getting another one of games, right? He is a squad player, but the fact that he was going out the door, Scales was going out the door before, obviously Roz have broken back in. I think we've got a manager that realises Liam Scales is not up too much because he's hard to kick the ball under him, which I'm kind of criticising Ralston, but I don't know if Scales will be better there. But fundamentally, he's not good enough to take Celtic forward. There's Tony Ralston, but we're where we are, Daniel. But the thing that's concerning me is we look so vulnerable. Every ball at the tap. One ball at the tap, and you're chasing shadows. Big Trusty looks the only guy that's going to do anything there because KT's away there, Trusty's there, and Ralston's there. See if the back three were combined and tight, it might actually be all right because the midfield can then close up. But the midfield are out of the place. The defence is split apart. So it's so easy to get one ball at the tap, a bit of speed, and you're through. Like just say the boy Motherwell, they play some nice football. 1, 2, 3, boom, and they're through. Rangers try and bully you. They might do the long ball, one touch, boom, get Sam might go through. It's I'm trying to not be negative because you've won 4-2, Daniel. You've won four goals. You've won the game. People might go, it's a difficult place to play, right? See, for me, Daniel, I'll let you on this, mate. See what happened yesterday, right? That's expected for Celtic to go to Livingston and score 2, 3, 4. People might go, no, it's no titles, it's standards. Livingston are the poorest team in Scotland right now as it stands. They concede just about every game. Every game they concede just about every game. They don't score a lot of goals. We should be going to Livingston and winning that game pretty comfortably, even with the squad we've got, and we made it hard work for ourselves. Get what you're saying, mate? Great character to get back, but you can't do that every game. You're not going to get go back and 2 back within that it's not going to happen. So that's the thing for me, mate. How vulnerable we are at long balls, set pieces, long balls, every corner. Oh, Jesus Christ, here we go. Every long ball, here we go again. And that can't happen, mate. It's all right scoring 4 goals, in fact, but see if you're going to keep leaking goals domestically, you'll not keep winning games. You're not going to win games. And ultimately, you might not win the league if you keep doing that. That's the truth, because if we don't want to win games, Daniel, and we don't stop leaking goals, no matter what you do up the top of the park, mate, you're never going to win football games because you're always then having to chase the game and try and get back in the game all the time.
Yeah, definitely. And the reason that Livingston away has become such a kind of a difficult place for Celtic to go is because we're so used to this free-flowing attacking Celtic playing against a sit-in and park the bus Livingston. That's not the Livy team that we played yesterday. We played an attacking Livingston team. They thought that they could go toe-to-toe with us. That's how much the standards have fell off for this squad at the moment. That Livingston, bottom of the league, thought they could go toe-to-toe and get a result. That's the reason why we won the game the way we did. You can, no matter what way you cut it, if Livingston came out and sat in, that game would not have ended 4-2. It would have been a much different game. So, some people might call it negativity. I tend to call it standards. This squad, compared to last season, is ridiculously low on quality. The guys that are starting in this team that we'll now have to try and convince ourselves are actually half decent because they're putting in the odd good performance now and again. We're nowhere near this squad last season. Johnny Kenny was away. He was getting ready to get punted. We lose Kyogo, he gets a 4-year deal. Yang was already, like you said, mate, Yang was on his way out in the summer. Couldn't sell him because we didn't have enough. So we had to settle with him. So, don't get me wrong, Yang has stepped up in the last few games and put good performances in, but he's still not the kind of a person that we're looking for in that position. I get that injuries have influenced this a lot, but seeing the defence, just the defence alone, you can't be losing 2 players and your full defence falls apart for a team like Celtic with the resources that Celtic have got. 2 guys out your team cannot mean that everything else falls apart. So, I take your point, JP. Obviously, the forward line is very injury decimated now, but there should be enough there to go and continue and score a lot of goals and take a lot of the chances, especially up front. Obviously, losing Kelechi and Callum Osmond has been a bit of slow-ing, but Kelechi was a last-minute free transfer because we didn't have anybody else in the door. Callum Osmond was away in the depth of the reserves under Brendan Rodgers, so there should have been a striker there to start the season in January, because obviously they two guys are now injured. There needs to be a striker brought in, and it needs to be as quick as possible, because something came up on my Twitter feed the other day, and it was like when we announced Alistair Johnson under Ange Postecoglou, it was
Your mic went a bit there, mate.
the
That's
mic
you
cut
back
off.
now. That's all right. I need to
Aye,
go back now.
it was the 3rd of December we announced him, so
We go again. No, but I know what you were going to say, Daniel. You were going to say about how quickly we get things done. Obviously, Arthur Johnson was signed, I think it was before Christmas, in a pre-contract or something like that for January, when he was coming in January. So the recruitment has to be quicker. It's definitely going to be quicker. We'll be slow for years at getting recruitment, and we were good under Ange with recruitment. We get in right away. Him and Dom Mackay were really good, and then for whatever reason, Dom Mackay obviously left. Don't know if that's because of the board didn't like his forward thinking or other things, but the fact that he's not been allowed to come out and say anything, for me, speaks volumes of what potentially went on. So the recruitment has to be quicker. I'm expecting, Daniel, well, I say I'm expecting, I'm hoping now, what we've seen previously, for somebody, one or two in, or maybe one before the game against Rangers, to help you, especially up front. Surely, Daniel, they must be close to one or two by now. If I want to stop making mistakes and change the way they're doing things and try to modernise, and they know they've made mistakes, well, this is where you show it now. If you need to, well, they shouldn't have to show it, because it should be done years ago in the summer in January there. But this is a unbelievable massive window, not just for us and now, for going forward, Daniel, because I keep saying it, if we get January right, if it's 3 or 4 players that are going to come in and play, it takes the bridge off the summer. It might save you having to sign 2 or 3 players already that you might need already, and tap of the team you need for the summer. So it helps you rebuild. We didn't do it in January, but by God, you're talking about striking options. Again, look, I'm trying my best not to be disrespectful to these players, because it's their job, it's their profession. They've worked hard to get there, to get to play with Celtic, and they're doing something that I didn't do, right? So, but I can only talk through watching the game. I was at the game yesterday. Even if I wasn't at the game yesterday, majority of fans watched it on the telly. They're all saying the same thing. How Johnny Kenny lasted 80 minutes is beyond me. It doesn't show for the ball. He's hiding between the two centre backs. When he makes a run, he makes his runs too early, so they can't pass the bottom. So it's like it's a total gesture to go and get the ball. He's like a wee boy, but physically he's pushed off the ball. Can he hold the ball up? It doesn't stick. I get we've not got any strike options, but see if you need to put Negrin up there, or if you need to put Maeda, if you need to do something, for me, I don't know how Johnny Kenny can play again. Like, I know we're doing the bare bones, Daniel, but for me, he's a man down. Listen, if this is disrespectful, look, I'm sorry, but I can only see from my eyes, and again, the standards, that guy got a 4 or 5 year deal. No disrespect Johnny Kenny, brilliant for him and his family and him, amazing. But who decided to give him a 4 or 5 year deal and think that he's going to be a major asset? Daniel, that just shows you, in my opinion, mate, which rang off the park as well. That even more animation is why we're wanting to change it at Football Club.
Yeah, definitely. For me, with the Johnny Kenny deal, it kind of I think it was Bolton Wanderers were kind of interested in him, so they gave him the bumper deal
a
to try and
£1 million Celtic wanted.
They gave him that bumper deal, 4-year deal, to try and keep him at the club and see if he'll come good. Unfortunately, he has played games, he had scores goals, but like you say, mate, he's very, very frustrating to watch at times. He's very, very raw. And it's not as if he's a young boy. Do you know what I mean? You can't sit and say, oh, he's only 21, 22. He's played football for a while now, so January's going to be so key for not only the club and the squad, but the board as well. They keep saying about how they want things to be done differently this time. The intent is there. We're going to back Wilfried as much as possible. So to get it right, the only way we can get it right is to have a striker in the door before we step foot onto that park against Rangers. To have a centre half in the door before we step foot on the park against Rangers. Because we've spoke about previously that they've no gave us the best opportunity to go and have a good season. This is the way to go and save your season. You need to have your business done quickly. Obviously, I know January is a very difficult window to get stuff done. You've not got a lot of time. The work should have, as soon as that summer window closed and the fans started to react and get aggravated, and obviously the protests and that have now became something else. As soon as that window closes, it's up to the board to go and do their due diligence, go and do that research to go and get it right. So as soon as we started playing football in August, they should have been having stuff lined up to go and get it right this time. So they've not got any excuses anymore. They don't have the time to be like, oh, this, that. The fans are absolutely at their wits' end with them, and they have been for a long time now.
UEFA guidelines beat us to we couldn't get the player on the line.
So for me, January needs to be done right. Obviously, I know you can never guarantee a success, but if they want to show the support that they can do the job that they claim they can do, you get the right guys in. Listen, see if it's a case of you sign 4 or 5 people. That might be unrealistic. You sign 4 or 5 people, maybe 2 or 3 of them actually benefit the squad as soon as they come in the door. And then obviously you've got boys coming back for injury. Like you says, mate, it leaves us in a much better position moving into the summer. So
Aye,
it's going to be vital because Johnny Kenny cannot continue as a striker for Celtic. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but he genuinely, it's like watching a giraffe with roller skates on at times. It's horrible to watch. There's been so many chances gave to him on a plate and he just can't seem to figure it out. And he gets frustrated himself and it's as if his head goes, I'm sorry, but if you're a professional football player, especially playing up front, Ryan, you know yourself, as a striker, and you miss 2 or 3 chances, as soon as you start to get frustrated, you've lost. You're not going to net. You're not going to score if you get frustrated. You need to keep going and get the next one. And he just can't seem to do it now. So a lot of fans I've seen leaving the game yesterday were worried about Motherwell. When have Celtic ever been worried against coming up against a Motherwell team? No disrespect to them. They've done very well so far this season. Celtic should not be walking into a Motherwell game going, don't know if we'll win here. So something needs to change.
it's a massive window, mate. It's a massive 2 games he's got in his hands here. If we beat Motherwell and then don't beat Rangers, then what do you do? Is he still here? Because that's what I'm saying. For me, he's still on a game-to-game basis. This is the way I'm based until we get into January and we see a run of games. We've got to go and run of games now. That's what, 2 in a row now we've won. Is that right?
Yep.
Aberdeen and Livingston.
Yep.
Right. Hopefully that's a tide turning out, etc. But the thing that's really alarming me is, Daniel, no really attacking sense, because if you get a striker in January, I think you'll be fine, right? I'm not really worried about the attacking, because no matter who's up front or who's who, we will create chances. But defensively, it's concerning me that he's still playing the same way and the same players who are making mistakes after mistake after mistake. And it's going to lead to listen, people might think I'm wrong here, which is fine, and I could have egg in my face if it doesn't happen, but I can just see a big picture. Somebody's going to give us a walloping. If that's Utrecht at home or if it's Bologna away from home, somebody's going to give us a walloping with that defence. Listen, they might score 3 goals, but make you see 6 goals.
Yeah.
So I'm all right with the attacking side. I'm all right with that because we'll get goals. Engels will pop up with maybe a penalty. He'll pop up with an assist, a goal. You've got Negan who's doing really well in terms of. I still think he can do a lot more, but his goals and assists you can't take away from him because he's always in the positions. He's doing well, right? Considering the money we signed him for, Daniel, he's been a decent signing in terms of value, right? But for me, the defence is really concerning me. I know he's not going to do it, Daniel, but see, look, for the first time, I think, since he came to Man United, Ruben Amorim changed his team yesterday. He says he'll never play for it at back. What did he do? Things on the working. I need to go to for it at back. Eventually, he went for it at back and they beat Newcastle. Ultimately, Newcastle probably a better team, but they won the game.
Yeah.
So, if Nancy did change his system to adapt to the players, just until he gets his players in to make sure the system is going to be this free phone football, then that's fine. I'm happy with that. But the players are no good enough, in my opinion, ultimately as a whole, that are playing this system because it's been 6 games now, right? I think 6 games. I've not seen proper improvement in this team. I've seen snippets of good football, attacking wise here and there, but as a whole, has it really changed since Rodgers left? Really, I wouldn't say so. Maybe in terms of creating chances, it maybe improves since Martin O'Neill's team, but I just think for me, defensively, Daniel, we look like every time we go up the park, we're going to concede. Now, that's the only reason why I'm touching it in a lot, us two on this tonight, mate, because attacking-wise, I think we're fine. I think we're fine. We'll get chances, we'll get goals if it's through Maeda, if it's through Nigrin, if it's Bernardo come off the bench and step him up. There's players who'll score goals. Jan, he's maybe not the best player, but he's stepping in to score goals. We'll always get goals at Celtic. But defensively, mate, until these players get really used to this way of playing, or we get better players to play this back three. This is just me, mate. I could be wrong, Daniel, but it's killing my viewing watching it because it's heart attack material all the time. Going forward, I'm like, on you go then, let's get a goal. But I'm thinking, right, if we 3-2 here, the fact that he brought on Donovan yesterday was a defensive change. You're 3-2, 4-2 up, and he's bringing on Donovan to shoot it up. That's where we are still. We're bringing players on to shore things up at 4-2. Instead of going for the gauntlet, Daniel, we're trying to show things up. He says after the game we were defensively solid. Listen, I'm going to lie, by the way. I used to watch every Brendan Rodgers presser, every Ange presser, every O'Neill. I think I've watched about 2 in Nancy's fully because some of the stuff he's Daniel, I can't get engaged with his pressers. Some of the pressers, I'm like, this is just red flag material. Maybe it is just a language barrier. Maybe it is just certain words that he's not understanding yet because obviously, again, the language barrier. And maybe we're picking it up wrong. I don't know. But some of the stuff before the game, after the game about defence will look good and stuff like that, mate, you can't kid the fans on. You can't. That's Clement and Russell Martin stuff. We were giving their managers for saying stuff like that. You can't come out and say our defence was solid when you conceded 2 goals against Livingston. Come on, you can't carry on, Daniel.
Yeah, it's bad, mate. It is really, really bad. I did say previously that he needs to go on a run now, and he can't continue with this kind of a coming out in the press and talking a lot of nonsense. It's as if yesterday it was as if he was watching 2 different games. I mean, attacking wise, we looked good and we scored goals. Defensively, mate, I said as well with JP in the transition, Celtic's transition from attack to defence. He said that he likes to defend with a back 5. We defend with a back 2, mate. Not once have I seen the transition.
Back 1 with trusty yourself.
Not once have I seen that transition go for a 3 in attack, like at the back, to a 5. Because at least one of the centre backs is always pushing up. The wing backs are in no man's land, and it's the two at the back. I mean, even the commentators are saying, you had a high reputation coming out of America, but the thing that always came in and every single person that commented on him was his teams are vulnerable in the counter attack. See, when you're playing against these high level opposition in Europe, obviously, whether that be Europa League, Champions League, you cannot be vulnerable on the counter attack in these type of leagues, this type of European football, because we've seen, I mean, it's comical some of the goals that Celtic have conceded early years, right? But that's what, like you says, mate, we go in and we play a very high quality opposition in one of these European games, we will get scalped on every counter attack. Every single one of them, they'll catch us. Dortmund done it to us under Rodgers, and that was way a back four. So if it's 7 with a back four, I'm terrified to see where it will be with a back two.
You're bang on, mate. Some of the viewers agree with you as well. I kind of feel for Trusty as well, because he's getting put in the back burner yesterday as well. Sinisalo was, again, we talk about Celtic has been fast and the football's good and it's always gone forward. In the second half, Sinisalo was like, right, I can't play it up front. I've not got a target man. I've not got a guy that can hold it up. I've not got wingers that can go and hold it up or go wide and actually head of the ball and challenge. So he's having to play at KT. And Trusty's then having to go like KT into the middle, into the back. And it's the same stuff as Rodgers. It's not changed. It's the same stuff. Tierney, Trusty, or back to Ralston. It's not changed. The second half yesterday was, for me, was a shambles. I know we've seen the game out in 1-4-2, but everything we done yesterday, Daniel, touched last bit on yesterday, maybe we'll touch on it Motherwell for a wee bit. That was expected yesterday for me. That's what Celtic should be doing. What's this? I don't detest the manager, mate. Sorry, whoever it is, if it's female or male. I don't detest the manager. I'm just not happy the way we're playing. It was the same with Rodgers. The standards of what we've, what I'm used to with Celtic and to what I'm seeing now, it's miles away from what we're expecting as a football club. Defensively, we're all over the place. Maybe that is because the players aren't good enough and it isn't shining a good light in the manager because of that. But if the manager's not getting success out of it and he sees frailties in defence, go to a back four and play, as much as Welsh is no great, play him in his right position. Play Trusty, and as much as I'm not a fan of Scales, play Scales next to Trusty, who was doing well with Trusty ultimately, and Tierney was fine at left back. Why not just revert to what was actually still conceding goals, but we weren't as defensively frailty? In my opinion, Daniel, is well the new. I don't detest a manager. I don't know him to detest him. I'm just seeing the way that he's setting us up. The players are not good enough, in my opinion, to play the way that he's wanting to play. And we're leaking goals all the time. We've conceded, is it 13 goals in 6 games? For Celtic, yeah. That's not good enough. My opinion, Daniel, is, again, I'm not going to talk for any fan, but as a fan base, how can you think that conceding 13 goals in 6 games is acceptable?
No, definitely. It's far from it. I mean, John's comment there, and O'Neill wins, we find ways to win, and then when Nancy wins, but we're not that good, the manager needs to go. The difference is, Martin O'Neill never came out and said, I'm focusing on performance, I don't care about results. We knew what we were getting with Martin O'Neill, we got the results, happy days. Wilfred Nancy has come out and says, trophies don't matter. For a Celtic manager to come out and say that trophies don't matter, considering how much success this club has had in the last 10 years, it puts pressure on him straight away, because the fans are used to winning trophies. So if you come out with a guy that's hitting out with stuff like that, he's saying, he only focuses on performance, it's as if we're watching two different things, because I would go and get the result yesterday, but the performance was nowhere near what he said it was. So that's where the biggest frustration is coming for likes of like me and Ryan and stuff like that. It's as if he's watching a completely different game. He might see things that he's happy with, but for us, watching what the Celtic team has been last year and what it is now, the second half was tragic.
See, I do agree with this comment. It's not entirely his fault because, again, you're totally right. He's not got the best tools to work with. So if you've not got the best tools to work with, you do your best to fit the tools into the best you can. So at your disposal, we are best in now playing a full 3-3.
Yep.
That's where Ralston's got. He's no good, but he's better at right back. He's comfortable. He's no comfortable playing the back three. Tierney is a left flying fullback. He maybe knows flying he used to be, but he still gets up when he puts good balls in the box. As much as, again, I'm no Liam Scales' biggest fan, never have been, but him and Trusty were doing decent. They were doing decent together. So why rip it apart? Why totally rip it apart? That's all I'm saying. Brendan Rodgers didn't have the tools at the start of the season, but Brendan Rodgers was getting lambasted. Players are no good enough. We're not getting results. The football is boring. But Brendan Rodgers get criticised for it. So surely Nancy's going to get criticised. Nancy's got the same tools. He's got the same players, barring a few injuries, but he's got roughly the same squad. So if you can't adapt with the back three, go and adapt to the back four until you get your players. See, Daniel, see if he came in the first week, right, and he kept it the same way, and then we got beat, then a black, well, ultimately it's on the players then, because he's kept it the same, he's not changed anything, the players have obviously no performed, they've no took them, whatever, but the fact that he's come in right away and changed it, and then the players have underperformed, and we've got beat convincingly in the 3 games, then you're going to go, right, wait a minute here, he's changed it, and we've got beat, the players look lost. For me, Daniel, he started himself in the rank fit. I want every Celtic player, every manager, everything to be a success. No, you're absolutely bang on. He did get lambasted, but what I'm saying is, he had the same tools. Actually, he had lesser tools because he didn't get backed. Brendan Rodgers didn't get backed. He got £13 million to spend to do Celtic in the full competitions. Nancy's come into a winning team, albeit the football hasn't been great when under Martin O'Neill, but he came in with 7 out of 8 games won. He's come in and changed the full system, which he says he wasn't going to do.
Yep.
And then ultimately he started off in the rank fit with 3 defeats. If we even won 2 out of 8 games, he wouldn't be getting as much stick as he's been getting. Doesn't matter who it matters, if it's Nancy, Ange, O'Neill, Stratton, Mowbray. If you come in and lose your first 3 games, you're going to get criticised. It's just Celtic cannot lose 3 games in a row if you're trying to go for league titles. People might say to me, Daniel, oh, it's entitlement or it's standards. Celtic in this league is it 4 games we've lost? Ultimately, when 2 teams, if it's Celtic, Hearts, Rangers, when they all go toe to toe with each other, 4, 5 defeats roughly in a league season. We've got 4. It's December.
Yep.
So it's not, again, the comment is spot on. The players weren't playing brilliant under Martin O'Neill. They weren't, but they were winning games under Martin O'Neill. They get 7 out of 8. Engels is playing a bit better. Scales and Trusty were playing a bit better. Even Yang is playing all right. He done all right yesterday. I'm just, Daniel, if I'm overreacting and because it's Nancy, listen, I want every player and every manager to do well, Daniel. But what I'm seeing right now, there we go. We lost 2 in 2024. Is it no 15 or 16 games we've lost this year? So ultimately, between Nancy and Rodgers, it's not been great this year. It's hard to fully judge Nancy because he's no got his players yet, right? That he might get in January, right? But the fact that he's come in and ripped it apart right away, changed a full new system, ultimately, Daniel, they should be good enough as players. But you, as a manager, he says that he's watched Celtic before he came in. He might have, Daniel, but he's not looked hard enough at the games hard because he's playing guys like Ralston at centre-back when Ralston, no matter what you think his ability, he's not a centre-back. He doesn't play there. He's a right back, or if you want to play him wing back, that's fair enough. You're making him look bad as well because you're playing him in the wrong position. Again, mate, I'm not wanting to be negative because we've scored 4 goals, we've won the game, but I can see the bigger picture and somebody's got to hammer us We're going to
Yeah.
leak so many goals, and domestically, you're not going to go on a run of games if you keep conceding 2 and 3 goals a game. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's a very, very, very tricky situation to navigate. Obviously, I do agree full-heartedly with you on that Nancy came in on the wrong foot. He says, for me, the biggest thing with him was the fact that he said, I'm not going to change the system too much, and then does it straight away. Like, completely tears it down and starts again with what he wants to do. Obviously, we lose the way we lose to Hearts, and then huge cup final, huge, especially with the way the season has panned out up until that point. There's so much emphasis on winning that game. We're like, right, what's he going to do? The lineup comes out and we think, oh, this is a back four. No, it's another experimental formation with players playing out position and stuff like that. You lose that game. He comes out after the game and says that trophies are not what matters to him. I mean, I might just be me, but I cannot see past that. There's been so many comments, and they might have been took the wrong way. You might not have meant it that way, but there's so many comments for him already that just don't suit what we think, the way we've been. I know you need to change, you need to adapt, but to tell the Celtic fans who have enjoyed so much success over the last 2 decades that trophies don't matter is absolute insanity for me. I cannot see past that, mate. Obviously, the players have got to take a lot of criticism as well because they are professionals. They should be able to adapt to systems. Arnie Engels comes out and says some of us have played this kind of a formation in like younger or international, so we kind of know what we do. It just needs to become repetition. We cannot afford to lose another game from now until about February. We cannot afford to lose because the January window is going to be so vital. The games that we have leading up to that window opening, obviously it's only a couple left, but they're must-win games. Every game now, this is what I've said, every game now is a cup final. Every single match is a cup final because you're chasing in the league. Your goal difference is less than the people at the top of the league. You're 3 points behind them, albeit it is a game in hand. You've no beat them in 2 times. You haven't bet Rangers this season inside 90 minutes. So I would beat them in the cup semi, and we've done it quite convincingly in extra time. But you've no actually beat Rangers inside 90 minutes for what is it? Nearly a year now, Ryan?
6 games.
There's so much pressure on this guy's shoulders. He cannot be coming away with the comments that he's been coming away with. There's so much pressure on the Celtic board. They need to get January absolutely spot on. They need to get business done early, and they need to continually get business done throughout this window. We cannot afford to miss at all for the rest of this season, or it goes down as a failed season.
Daniel, if we don't win the league, mate, it's a catastrophic season. Celtic need to win the league, mate, and we also need to qualify ideally for the Champions League. Now, again, maybe because of the squad we've got now, maybe the standards, the expectation, what I'm maybe expecting is maybe I shouldn't expect it, right? But see what happened last year. Again, whether or not it was a fluke or no, whatever people think, right? Bayern Munich getting to that bit of the Champions League stage, in my opinion, is where Celtic should be.
Yep.
That's where we should be aiming for, at least to try and get to that stage. And then if we get a good draw in that last game, then potentially qualify, brilliant. I don't want to say that the board or the team they've hooked us onto something and then they'll give us it, but we're all thinking, right, good performance, unlucky to qualify in the latter stages. But look, very, very good considering where we are in Scotland, the standards that we weren't really expecting to beat Bayern Munich, but we nearly did, right? For me, it's all about ambition and standards, mate, and the board have got an unbelievable job in January to help this manager. If Nancy does win the league and he does win the Scottish Cup, by the way, I'm being honest, right, the Scottish Cup will be a bonus for me now. It's just win the league. That's the most important thing for me now this year. If Nancy turns us around, I hope myself, maybe yourself, some of the fan base will all get egging off face, because that means Celtic are doing well and we were wrong. I want to be wrong. To be wrong. But I don't, going forward, I see improvements in terms of how many chances we're creating. But I don't see major improvements, mate, for O'Neill. And normally, I've not seen the manager bounce, this so-called manager bounce that teams get. Yeah. We've not had that. We've even had that, even for a game or two. So, obviously, Motherwell, mate, just a wee bit on Motherwell before we end the show, mate. What's your thoughts on the game? And do you think they'll make any changes? Will Bernardo maybe come in and he might push Maeda up front? What's your thoughts, mate?
I think the Motherwell game's going to be quite an entertaining game. Might have to watch parts of it behind the couch, but I do think it will be quite an entertaining game, quite an exciting game, especially going forward. But no, listen, they're an organised team. They know how they want to play, and they're going to come after us. Like, make no mistake about it, this Motherwell team has attacking intent. They have since the start of the season. They're going to come after us, and it's whether or not the defence can actually click. So I'm not dreading it. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not worrying about it. But it's a good opportunity to go again, get another win, try and shore up this defence, and just get a convincing victory and try and move forward with good momentum. Changes wise, I think maybe we might see Schmeichel come back in. I mean, I think Sinisalo got a well-deserved chance the other day there. First goal, yeah, you could maybe fault him. Second's an absolute peach. He's never saving that in a million years. So I would like to see Sinisalo continue, but I think just for the magnitude of the ties coming up into the new year, I think maybe we will see Schmeichel come in. I would like to see Maeda moved up front and maybe Bernardo come in and maybe Engels pushed up a bit. I don't know, or Hatate brought back into that position in the kind of a number 10 role, but I do think some players may be rested for Rangers. So it'll be very interesting. You're absolutely spot on, John. I'd say Cal McGregor's looked exhausted for the Kaira Almaty game. You can see it in his face now. His eyes look dead sunk in. He looks really tired, and it's hard to watch, actually. But yeah, just for the squad, mate, I don't see any kind of outrageous changes, but I think we will see a couple of boys rested just for the big game in the new year.
I think you're right, mate. I think as much as you don't want to change too much because you still want to keep momentum and you still want to keep playing the way that he's wanting to play, I think maybe playing Bernardo and maybe pushing Maeda up front, etc., it might be something. If it means even playing Scales in Ralston's position, I think Scales, as much as, again, I'm not him or Ralston's biggest fan, but I think he'd be more comfortable there than Ralston would be, or even Donovan. But again, I just think it's, as much as I want a performance, Daniel, I want to go and score, I just want us to win the game, mate, and then we'll be on before the Glasgow Derby to preview it. But I think that's again, it just depends what happens on Tuesday as well. If we win then that's going to be a bit of momentum. But if you don't beat Motherwell, even more so, the Derby game's going to be even more pressurised, because for me, I'm not going to say it's going to make or break your season, but if you don't win that game, it's definitely a massive hindrance, because especially with Hearts no picking up points yesterday, it should give you that wee, right, a bit of sniffing blood. Like, let's go now, let's go and take the bull by the horns. So I think it's just about getting the victories now, Daniel. We need to go and run our games, if it's 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. We need to go and run our games if we're dropping points. We need to, because as much as them across the water aren't great, they're still winning games. Hearts aren't fantastic. They've been doing well this year, but they did obviously slip up yesterday. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's a bubble burst just yet because we've lost 4 games. So we can't say that same done because I've only lost another game. So, but we will be back on during the week. I think JP will be on tomorrow. I don't know if Alan and the guys will be on tomorrow. I don't know if Daniel's back on tomorrow as well. We'll get that sorted for you. We'll be back on tomorrow at some point tomorrow night, probably the usual time, 8 o'clock. Thanks for your comments and your views. Hopefully, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. It is Sunday, which I didn't realise it was Sunday till this morning. It's my date to the other place, Daniel, this time of year. But until the next time we're on, take care, look after yourself, Daniel. Thanks for coming on, mate. And I'll see you very, very soon, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for everybody to tune in on this Sunday afternoon. Hopefully it is a positive result we're reflecting on after Tuesday, and all the best to you into the new year, if I'm not on by then.
Hail, and take care.
Sets up Larsson here. Larsson, oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly, how about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!